But the rest of the place, the rest of the house can be tiny because I hated how huge my house was. I know this isn't what this episode's about, but it's fine because this is the preamble and I still haven't actually done the thing that I was intending on doing, which was hitting the record button in Spreaker. And now we're recording. Hello. Yes, the ducking is actually working today. That's brilliant. How are you guys? I hope everybody is well and happy as they can be. And I've noticed something is a little bit wrong with today's intro. If you can hear it, write it in the comments. If you can't hear it, then I don't need to say anything else. Today's episode is about embracing the weak sauce and persevering with due diligence. Now, that's a very, very, very fancy word to be using. And I have reasons. I have reasons because I have always been a martial artist of some description from the twee age of 6. Did I start when I was 6? Yeah, 6. I've always been in a martial art of some description. So my parents put me through anything that would waste my energy because I am a hyperactive individual. I'm very physical. I like moving. If I don't move, I feel like I'm dying. So you can only imagine how the last year of lockdown has treated me. They put me into Shotokan karate first. So that was when I was 6 years old. I also got shoved into gymnastics. And I think I mentioned that on the last one, in a very dark kind of way that I loved gymnastics, was absolutely getting into it. And then the teacher passed away, unfortunately. And such is life in Kenya when, mortality rates are a thing and, you live, but like the possibility of death is way higher than it would be in spaces like, the UK or Europe, certain aspects of Europe, and the US and stuff. So they put me into gymnastics. They put me into dance. I talked about the ballet dance teacher, my Italian dance teacher with the cane. That was not enjoyable. And they also put me into summer camps. And my summer camp was IT and karate. I don't know who, when, where, how, or even why those things got put together, but that was my thing. If you ever watched American Pie and if you ever have that catchphrase, this one time at band camp, mine can either go one of two ways. This one time at IT camp or this one time at Shotokan Karate School. Those are the options I have. Either I was learning to touch type by having a shoebox put over my keyboard. Worked out really well. I can touch really quickly. Wow. I can type really quickly. I've changed my coffee and it's not as strong. So my mouth and my brain aren't quite moving at the same speed as they should be. So, IT skills, learning how to do, how to utilize MS-DOS, how to touch type, how to, use, this was it must have been 93 or something. Maybe 92. No, 94. 10, 9, 8, 7, no, 93 or so. And with that, I had IT during the day and then I would go down stairs to the space underneath this building and it was just hard floor and that's where karate class would happen. And by this open space, there was a little hut that a woman went into and she would cook mandazi, which is a kind of Kenyan like donut or Kenyan sweet dumpling. Was it dumpling or a donut? I think a donut and donuts. So yeah. So mandazi and donuts and then sweet tea would be the thing that we'd have at break. And I used to eat so many of those things like a little crackhead because my parents didn't really allow me to have sweet things at home. So whenever I was at this computer camp or whatever, I would just like just go in and get my sugar fix. I think that's why I have this whole thing where I just like eat sweet things in a binge and then I'm good for like a month. I don't know if that's healthy or not. Like my weight's fine, so we're all good. But I digress. So karate was my first thing. Shotokan karate was my first thing. And I really, really enjoyed it. It was really, really fun. My teacher was called Mr. Valentine. And he was such a cool guy. Such a cool guy. And yeah, I really shone through with karate. I went up through the grades and everything. And then I had to move. You know, it's always a way with these things. Like, yeah, it was great. And then you have to move. And then I moved into Taekwondo. Yeah, from Shotokan karate, I moved straight into Taekwondo. And that was a bit weird because within that, I also moved countries. So I was competing in Kenya, not doing too badly, bronze. Like third is better than nothing, in my humble opinion, even though my parents were just like, why aren't you gold yet? Like, you know, high pressure shit. So yeah, with that, I did a lot, went through the grades. I think I got up to blue belt in karate. Or green. Whatever the one just before red, which is before brown, I was that one. So, you know, kind of half proficient and moved to UK. So if you don't know, just giving you a little like very light martial arts history lesson here. Taekwondo has, had, maybe it's changed. This was in the 90s, 2 federations. So you had the ITF and the WTF. So I think it was the World Taekwondo Federation and the International Taekwondo Federation. And I was in one and I moved to the other. And that's why I'm kind of confused if I had a green or a blue belt because I think they're the same level. And competed in the UK and that was fun. And then a friend of mine started doing capoeira when I was at school studying A-levels. And the capoeira was really, really fun. He only had a few basic moves and I was just learning it. So when I went to university, I obviously went and found the Capoeira Society, got ingrained in it to the point that I became the president of the Capoeira Society. And I was actually teaching capoeira to after school classes and stuff. Is my cat about to have a poo? Where's my cat? I think my cat's about to have a poo. So I think I'm just going to pause for a second. He's doing his thing. Let him do his thing. Let's carry on. Let's wait until he's finished because I am not editing out cat scratching. Like for real. Can you imagine if humans did this? Like when you went to the bathroom and like you had to scratch a whole bunch of like leaves or stuff over like what you've done. It'd be terrible. Wouldn't touch anyone's hands. Oh, yep, there he goes. There he goes. There he goes. Is he going to run up? Where is he going to run? Where is he going to run to? Nowhere. There you go. Okay. You done now, cat? Good boy. And this is why crazy cat women exist. Because we talk to our cats and our cats actually understand what the fuck is going on. Anyway, so being a president of the Capoeira Society and teaching classes was super, super fun at university. And I got well into it and, you know, went to my batizado. And I don't care what anyone says about capoeira. Capoeira is deadly. Okay. Most martial arts move in a front to back or kind of, well, front to back, right? That's usually the places then you go diagonally, this way, that way, the other way, whatever. Capoeira goes side to side. Our natural movement is side to side, not coming forwards or backwards because we're facing each other and mimicking each other. And you know, it's a play. But if you don't know the history of capoeira, it started in West Africa as, I think it's Ngolo. And there's Makulele as well, which are other African martial arts. And it came over with the slave trade. And the Brazilians or the imported African slaves would do this. And they hid this martial art as a dance so that the slave owners couldn't recognize that they were training themselves. So you always watch capoeira and it looks like a dance because everyone's in a circle and singing and dancing. And you got these two people in the middle doing acrobatics. Now, let me tell you about these acrobatics, because my first batizado, which is a baptism, as it were, I was in the circle, you know, singing and absolutely loving life. It's great. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Getting ahead of myself. Capoeira is great. And there were two mestres, one a contramestre and a mestre. So contramestre is one level before you get to mestre. And they were going in and everyone was just so hyped. It was such a feverish pace and pitch, and just everything was just amazing. And like flying kicks were starting. So instead of just, round kicks where you touch the floor and your leg goes up into the air, now there's like double air kicks and stuff. And this contramestre was against this guy. I think his name was Pantera, not the black metal band, but Panther, right? And he was quick, like he was crazy quick and crazy muscular as well. And he did, I can't remember the names, but anyways, he did a double roundhouse 2 times. So that was 4 kicks in a span of like half a second. And the contramestre escaped or did an esquiva, but he didn't realize that it was coming again. This is why you watch your opponent. The whole thing about capoeira is not looking at yourself. It's always watching your opponent. And he got clocked. He got KO'd, clocked right on the jaw, out, completely sparkled, and landed at my feet. And I saw his eyes rolling in the back of his head. And the way he did, he played his capoeira, he had a cross, the cross that Christian people wear, says the Jew. And he held it in his mouth just to, save it from going into his face. And usually if you're playing chill, that's very safe. But he was on the floor. This thing was just like hanging out of his mouth, bloodied mouth. And I'm stood here going, shit. Well, that's capoeira then. And he was fine. He woke up and they resuscitated him and everything, but he lost a tooth, and yeah, like anyone who says and dismisses capoeira saying it's a fruity martial art, I'm just like, if you get hit by one of those kicks, there's a reason why Eddie in Tekken was such a hard character to defeat properly. And there's a reason why people chose Eddie if they were button mashers. Because you could just do whatever the fuck and just like you could win, which is really, really great. So that's capoeira. I love capoeira, and I still love capoeira now. The flexibility and everything from it is amazing, and the community and society around it is so much fun too. So I moved from that, and we're going to get to the main thing. Like, I am so off topic here, but I think it's just interesting to talk about martial arts anyway. So from capoeira, I started doing door work, and there was a bit of door training with some of the companies that I worked with, but I reached I'd call it pinnacle, just the way a door team needs to work. I found a door team, and it was led by a really decent guy, ex-special forces, 30 plus years military, judo, aikido, jiu-jitsu, so Japanese jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, firearms, just everything, absolutely everything. And the dude's a unit as well, like big dude, but the biggest, gentlest person who could potentially kill you with a pen. He taught me how to use a pen to kind of use compliance holds on people, which is amazing. So his training was really amazing. We did a version of Krav Maga called Kapap, and we did functional edge, which is something that I was looking into anyway from my CrossFit days. Functional edge is not CrossFit. I'm just going to put it out there before people are just like, oh, what? No. Functional edge training is I wouldn't call it a martial art. I think it's still in the space of the art of self-defense. And we did another one. Eskrima? Yeah, because we use Kali sticks and stuff. Basically, amazing training. Like anyone who does doors, anyone who does police work should go through that style of training, because it teaches you psychologically how to own your shit more than anything else, which is really, really important, especially when you panic. And we did, I call it chaos training. I don't know what it was actually called. Pressure training, I think, where like the whole team would just have these rugby mats or side kicking mats, and we just bombard you. We just literally just like squeeze and bombard you. And the whole idea was you needed to identify a way out from this and get to the door. So we're in a training room and we had to get to the door. So even if you escaped, someone who was fast, and there was always a rugby player, someone who was fast could potentially tackle you. And I don't mean like tackle you with arms, just tackle you with his pad and just push you to the ground again. And you'd need to get the fuck up. You'd need to get up and go again, because it's a simulation of, a real situation that you'd probably have to deal with whilst your heart rate is going at 1,000 miles a second and you can barely hear anything. And like your motor actions have all kind of turned into big lunky movements, because that's what happens. So lots of psychological training with the door team, which was amazing. That was for a couple of years. And then Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu kind of casual.